I'm Michelle Sweeney, and this is Mary Had a Little Lamb. We are learning this song in the Suzuki way. I hope that you've already, at this point, learned songs 1 through 7 through the Suzuki method, and you're following my lessons and learning step by step how to become a pianist through this amazing piano method. So we are on Mary Had a Little Lamb, which is a really big deal because once you get to Mary Had a Little Lamb, you get to start putting hands together with all of your songs. So up until this point, you've been playing all of your songs with just the melody, like this. We've been doing, or we've been doing, you've been playing the same notes with the right hand and the left hand. And now you are ready with Mary Had a Little Lamb to learn how to put chords with your melody. So your right hand will be playing one thing and your left hand will be playing something else. And what your left hand is going to do is going to provide the harmony. Harmony always has 3 notes at a minimum. Sometimes there are even 4 notes. Our very first chord we're going to play for Mary Had a Little Lamb is a C chord, and it has C, E, and G. All 3 of those notes are really important to the sound of this major chord. So we play C, E, and G, all 3 at the same time with all 3 of these fingers. That's a C chord. And that's what you get to learn with Mary Had a Little Lamb. So you're going to play this and you're going to hold it for kind of a long time. We'll play lots of notes in the right hand, while the left hand is just playing this chord slowly. Do you hear that? So we're playing while the left hand's just playing one time. You hear that? The right hand gets to play lots of notes. The left hand is just playing the one chord. Okay. So this is the C chord, and that's what you play for the beginning of Mary Had a Little Lamb. But then there's a point where that's going to sound weird. So let's continue the song and see if you can find the place where the C chord sounds strange. Did you find any places where the C chord sounded like maybe it was the wrong thing? That kind of makes me feel like scratching on a chalkboard or something like that. So this is not the right chord. When we have a D in the right hand, we need to have a D in the chord. Is there a D in the C chord? No. So there's another chord that you're going to learn, and it's called the G chord. It has a G in it. The G happens to be on the top with your thumb. And then we have a B on the bottom, and we have a D in the middle. So if you have a D in the right hand, it sounds better to have a D in the chord. Does that sound better? So that's Little Lamb, that little part, with the G chord. How does it sound compared to? Which one do you like better? Okay, so wherever we have this D in the right hand, we're going to change to the G chord. So now we're about to play D in the right hand, so we're going to switch to the G chord. That sounds better, right? And then we go back to the C chord again. Does that sound right? We're playing a D in the right hand, so let's switch. Oh, is that better? We're playing a D in the right hand, so we're going to play a D in the left hand. And the D in the left hand goes along with G and B. So this chord is B on the bottom, D in the middle, and G on the top. At the very end, we go back to the C chord. So your left hand mostly is playing the C chord, but there are 2 places where it gets to play the G chord. And that's when the right hand is playing D in the melody. So This is Mary Had a Little Lamb with chords. The exciting thing about learning this song with chords is that once you learn how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb with chords, you're ready to go backwards to all the songs you've already learned. Songs like Cuckoo, songs like French Children's Song, and London Bridge, and all of the other songs that you've studied so far. You can play those with blocked chords, and your ear can teach you which notes you should play. So, just like you did with Mary Had a Little Lamb, you're going to try playing C with everything, and then figure out which ones shouldn't be C, and then adapt. So for all of your songs up until here, we are just playing the C and the G chord. And so you can go ahead and try that out. You can try it out with lightly row. Let's see what lightly row sounds like. Does that sound good? Maybe we should change the chord for that part. Yeah? Okay, so you have to listen and figure it out. Oh, we're playing a D in the right hand. What should we do when we play a D? Switch to the G chord. And then go back to C. Does that sound good? What did we learn in Mary Had a Little Lamb? Switch to the G chord when you're playing D's in the right hand. Does that sound good? Am I playing a D? Oh, I'm playing an E in the right hand. Well, there's an E in the C chord. Maybe I should go back. Should I go back? Yeah, I'll go back to E, to the C chord. So now that you've played Mary Had a Little Lamb with your chords, your review assignment for all the songs you've learned before Mary Had a Little Lamb is to try and figure out the chords, not just for Mary Had a Little Lamb, but also for Cuckoo, for Lightly Row, for London Bridge, for French Children's Song. You can even try it with Honeybee. Just see if you can figure out with your ear what sounds good and why we change the chords. What's changing in the right hand melody? Like what kind of patterns can you notice when you need to change to the other chord? So C chord, G chord, which one sounds good where, and try and figure out sort of the way it sounds and the way it feels. Okay, so that's your practice assignment once you get to Mary Had a Little Lamb, is to learn it with the chords. Yay, happy practicing.